الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين وعلى آله وصحبه وأزواجه أجمعين أما بعد. This is Jalal Abualrub, Jalal Allah blessed me and my family to produce more than 70 books and booklets so far, all about Islam, all in English, some of them in defense of Islam, thousands of articles. I visited hundreds of masajid in the United States and other areas. In the States, I visited 40 different states. And we have videos, we have Facebook, we have articles that we post on the website. The website is islamlife.com, islamlife.com, islamlife.com. And we have new books there that we posted for free, the PDF. Here is the topic today. I needed this introduction. Today, I'm responding to somebody who calls himself friendly ex-Muslim, Abdullah Samir. And the video I'm responding to today, I think it was posted this year, has hundreds of thousands of views. That's why I'm responding. It's the hundreds of thousands of people who watched this video that make me respond. If it wasn't something that is popular, like more than 10 times popular than my videos, maybe more, I wouldn't have answered. I don't care about views and how many people see whatever. I don't have time. I'm working currently on a number of books, including the third edition of the Holy Wars, Crusades, Jihad. And the next, inshallah ta'ala, special edition of Zadul Ma'ad and other books. So I don't have time. I'm not worried about views, except when I see some videos that discuss aspects of Islam that are popular, then I try my best to answer. I can't answer everything, but today I have a message to convey first to Abdullah Samir. You call yourself friendly ex-Muslim. Here is the deal. You are screwing your akhirah, your last life, your meeting with Allah. And it's a decision you made. I've seen some of your other videos. What can I say? So you have some grievances with Islam and Muslims. I'm not going to talk about that today. Maybe later. I don't know. I'm just giving you an advice. You made this decision to leave Islam. Don't you think that first you should learn this religion that you have left so that you can open the eyes even more than you do in your videos and say, here's the issue, here's the issue, here's the issue, here's the... Learn your religion, your ex-religion, according to you. I am disappointed. So many times I am discussing ex-Muslims issues. I haven't seen a single ex-Muslim who really knew Islam. None. You see, here is what I do. I have a 600-page book, Biography and Mission of Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, 600 pages. more than 1,500 footnotes, the references, explanations, from more than 300 different resources. Everything I write in my books, I bring the evidence. If I'm writing something out of my opinion, I say it's my opinion. So I'm a researcher. I am a researcher. I also have debated non-Muslims, evangelicals, a lot over the past 2 decades. And before that, when I was growing up and reading about Islam extensively, I read what has even more information about Islam for the Orientalists of before, who had more knowledge about Islam, with knowledge being a figure of speech, than today's evangelicals. Today's evangelicals, some of them have a lot more knowledge than so many ex-Muslims. I'm disappointed. Where is the challenge? Let's talk today about this video. The video by this ex-Muslim who's not friendly. He thinks he's friendly, he's not. The things he says are not friendly, and maybe we can discuss this later. You left Islam. Why? Let's reach here an agreement. Number one, which is the only one, anyway, the one and only. This is the foundation of Islam, along with the Sunnah. See? Okay. And the camera is following me, so thank you. Here is Al-Quran Al-Kareem, the foundation of Islam. Before we talk about your other grievances with Islam, this is the issue. This is the foundation of Islam. This is what Muslims believe in, that it is divine. Every letter of it is divine, revealed from Allah to our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and recorded. If the book is proven to have been changed, then the entire religion is based on nothing. Okay? Quote me on this. If the Quran was changed, then the religion of Islam is gone. Because this is the foundation of Islam. Its integrity is a primary aspect of faith in it. And changing the Quran means what? Muslims believe, and it is the truth, that Islam is the final religion from Allah. The Quran is the final revelation from Allah. The Sunnah is the final Sunnah revelation from Allah. If this book was changed, it means what? Allah will have to send another book to point out what was changed in this one. Otherwise, it's not going to be eternal. You understand? This is logical, isn't it? So, if the integrity of this book is in doubt, then the entire religion is in doubt. So, Abdullah Samir brought a video that I saw before. I responded to it many times. So people are not listening. I responded to it, which was deleted, by the way, by someone interviewing Yasir Qadhi. And this Samir guy, Abdullah Samir, is saying that Muslims should know about this. It's hiding, it's hidden, it was deleted because it's in hiding or whatever it is. And Yasir Qadhi wanted to hide it also. And in it he says, I mentioned in my articles, in my videos, a lot of these things that Yasir Qadhi said about the Quran. But here, this person is telling him, if I give you an empty notebook and give you the Mus'haf, the Quran, and asked you to transfer from this Quran to this empty notebook what is munazzal, revealed from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Will the result correspond to the original? It's not an easy yes and no answer. It's a difficult question. It's very difficult. Why? You have to believe the Quran is Allah's kalam. But you wouldn't take what's in here that is Allah's kalam and put it here. We know the Quran is Allah's kalam. Is this the original Quran Allah sent to Muhammad? Is it the original book? It was changed. You say, come out and say it. I know he went to Yale. I know Yale is the mother of the believers there who are believers in nothing or Jesus. These people are Christians or Jews or whatever, this is the place where Muslims go to learn Islam. Anyway, but give me an empty notebook. Tell me, transfer what's munazzal in this book to the notebook. Will it be the same? Absolutely. So, friendly ex-Muslim who's not friendly, you're screwing your akhirah. Don't you at least want to know about the foundation of Islam? The other grievances are less important than the Quran was changed. It's not from God. It wasn't, Allah, it wasn't, the documentation has holes in it. No, Yasir Qadhi has holes in his heart. Forget about him. Let's talk about the Quran. So here is the challenge. I know you repeat what Yasir Qadhi says, which indicates the shallowness of his knowledge, which is also a figure of speech, knowledge, where there is a mixture here. We have a mixture of a package. قراءات, أحرف, تشكيل. قراءات, أحرف, تشكيل. Preservation, narrative. Sorry, I had to cough. Asthma. Disengage this stuff. They're a package that Yasir Qadhi keeps throwing, either to confuse Muslims, I don't think so, or to make Muslims doubt the Quran because he has a problem in his heart with the Quran and he wants to share it with those who are advanced Muslims, advanced whatever, academic. No need. Listen, Mr. Friendly ex-Muslim. This is the book that Muslims have everywhere in the world. This is the one. The only one. Even in Shia Iran, and the Shia are not Muslims, they claim the Quran was changed. If you go to Tehran and you go to a masjid there, hopefully they have copies of the Quran, pick up a copy of the Quran that they have, a Mus'haf. Guess which one you're going to find? This one. All Muslims have this one. Most Muslims have no clue what the qira'at, what the ahruf, what even Tashkeel is about. Tashkeel. Yasir Qadhi thinks Tashkeel is divine. I'm going to prove to you that he is not saying the truth. I'm trying to be friendly. They call me harsh. I can't put up with ignorance, okay? I hope it's not too harsh, ignorance. So this is the mushaf that Muslims have everywhere in the world. 500 years ago, it's this one. We still have copies from 100 years ago, hundreds of years ago. Go back to the oldest copies of the Quran in existence. The mother of so many Muslims today, I think that we're already there. The Brits, of all people, had to admit that they found fragments of the Quran which they dated to the time of Abu Bakr and Umar or Uthman. Who are Abu Bakr, Umar, and Uthman? Abu Bakr, 20 years the best friend of Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam before Islam. 23 years after Islam, his father-in-law and his immediate successor, he lived for about 3 years after Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam died. Umar became Muslim 5 years after the beginning of Islam, still in Mecca, still one of the earliest Muslims, and he was the second successor of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam after Abu Bakr, also the father of Hafsa, the wife of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Abu Bakr, Aisha married Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Umar, Hafsa married Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Uthman is the third successor of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Became Muslim even before Umar and became the Khalifa, the leader of the Islamic State, after Abu Bakr and Umar died. So the Brits say that the fragments of the Quran they have date back to that time. Listen with your mind, not with your ear. Listen here. So they say it's very early, and we have literally hundreds and hundreds of documents that date back very early to the early era of Islam. They are found in museums throughout the world. Here is the thing. So the issue here is this mushaf. Most Muslims don't know what you're talking about when you say qira'at, ahruf, the ordinary Muslims, most of them, and they don't need to know. It's not. This is the Quran that they recite, they believe in, they memorize, they say it's Allah's kalam, hasn't been changed. So we'll talk about this one. Let's establish this one, because this is as they say, the original. Now, other issues, qira'at, ahruf, we'll talk about them later. Tashkeel, I'm going to talk about it now. What's Tashkeel? Fatha, Dhamma, Kasra. Like for example here, this is from Surah Taha, which is Surah 20. You see you have Fatha, you have Dhamma, you have Kasra, you have Sukoon. You see here? ما أنزلنا عليك القرآن لتشقى. طه ما أنزلنا عليك القرآن لتشقى إلا تذكرة لمن يخشى. I'm not talking today about طه ما أنزلنا عليك القرآن لتشقى إلا تذكرة لمن يخشى. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about the rasm. See? The letters, how they're written. Okay. Here it is. Oh, okay, I found it. Taha. Okay, go here. ما أنزلنا. ما أنزلنا. Okay, going the other way. عليك القرآن لتشقى. See? طه. How it's written. Understand? How it's written. This is how it's written in every mushaf Muslims on the face of the earth have. Hundreds of years, 1,000 years. More than that, there are some of the earliest copies of the Quran that correspond to what the Brits found, and it's not their property, but they put it in the University of Birmingham. They put it in their museum or whatever it is. It corresponds to that, which they date back to the time of Abu Bakr, Umar, and Ali, and Uthman. Ali ibn Abi Talib, the cousin of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Shia say Ali ibn Abi Talib, Quran was changed, and guess what Quran Ali ibn Abi Talib was teaching and reciting when he was leading until the Khawarij killed him. May Allah punish them for what they did. It's this one. See? So I'm talking about how it's written. This is the documentation. Don't tell me anything else. Bring me any argument against this. It's how it's written, how it is read, and the qira'ah, and the tashkeel. So you see the tashkeel here? See the tashkeel? تشكيل طه ما أنزلنا عليك القرآن لتشقى إلا تذكرة لمن يخشى تنزيلا ممن خلق الأرض والسماوات العلى الرحمن على العرش استوى. The Brits tell us that the oldest fragment of the Quran they found is this one here on top. Okay. Now I'm going to try to put my finger. Okay. See? Okay. I have to go the other way. طه ما أنزلنا عليك القرآن لتشقى. What's the difference? People of knowledge, people of understanding. What's the difference? What happened to the tashkeel? There is no tashkeel here. طه ما أنزلنا عليك القرآن لتشقى. You have فتحة ضمة كسرة here. طه ما أنزلنا عليك القرآن لتشقى. So, and the oldest copies of the Quran in existence, there are so many of them, don't have tashkeel. So, Mr. Yasir Qadhi says the problem with tashkeel, the tashkeel, the Quran letter by letter, there is no problem with tashkeel in the Quran. It's not divine. You see? Is it divine? How did they put it there? They say this is the time of Abu Bakr, Umar, and or Uthman. Unbelievable. So where is the tashkeel? There's no tashkeel. I can read this very quickly, because when we were studying Quran, I studied in Kuwait, grade school, then high school, and we had a test, to recite maybe, and to write down some parts of the Quran. We didn't use tashkeel. We used the naqt. Now, it's another topic. You see the naqt here? Istawa. See, istawa. You have two dots here on the ta. These two dots. They're called naqt. Istawa. See, here it is. There is no naqt. So tashkeel and naqt, yeah, geniuses. It's not divine. What they represent is divine. You see? This is how I read it. Istawa, not istuwi, not istawan. Why? Because this is how the Arabs pronounced their words. They didn't need it in the early era of Islam. That's their language. They, at the time of Ali ibn Abi Talib, radiallahu anhu, he brought a linguist, told him, put Naqt and Tashkeel to help the Muslims, because many nations came into Islam and they needed help to read the Quran. So many Arab today, maybe most of them, can't read the Quran properly today without the Tashkeel. So the Tashkeel is just a guide of how you can recite the word. Okay? Where is the word I want to? Okay, Al-Quran. You see Al-Quran here? Al-Quran. Okay? There is a sukoon, there is dhamma, there is a sukoon, there is a alif, and with the hamza and with a fatha on it. There is the madda, the alif. The na has a fatha. You see, that's the tashkeel. It helps me read it properly. But in the early copies of the Quran, it wasn't there. So the tashkeel is out. It's not divine. This is the proof. Okay. Now, if you go back to the earliest copies of the Quran, masahif, even before the Naqt and Tashkeel was added by the companions of Muhammad ﷺ and the second generation of Islam by command from Ali ibn Abi Talib, before the Tashkeel was, like I said, to help us read the Quran, because most Arabs today, they wouldn't be able even to, let alone non-Arabs, to read the Quran properly without the Tashkeel. It's to help us. But what the Tashkeel represents is how to read the words. So go back to the earliest copies of the Quran, compare to this one. And here is the challenge to you. Before we go into your grievances about Islam and all that drama and all that stuff, and this, why did this guy leave Islam, and whatever. Here is the challenge to you and to Yasir Qadhi. First of all, bring evidence. Okay. Evidence, examples. I'm not asking for 100 examples, or 10 examples, or 5 examples, or 4, or 3, or 2. 1. Because if you can prove that from the earliest copies of the Quran, there is an ayah missing from here, or an ayah added to here, then it makes the whole document doubtful. You understand what I'm saying? Doubtful. Because if a man who couldn't distinguish between tashkeel and no tashkeel, naqt and no naqt, and qira'at and ahruf, it's like a salad. If he could find this, then maybe this one too is doubtful. What about that one, and this one, and this one, and that? The whole document becomes doubtful, because the challenge is that Allah will preserve this book as it is. So the challenge is on you. Forget about the other ahruf. Forget about the hadith about Ubay ibn Ka'b. I already mentioned it in one of my books, Muhammad's Role in Islam. Forget about that. What I want you to think is, this is the copy most all Muslims now have. Most Muslims do not have knowledge about the qira'at. They hear about it, the ahruf, they don't know that knowledge. They hear about this. So most Muslims do not know about the qira'at. All Muslims from the beginning until today know about this copy of the Quran. This one. See? See? This one. MashaAllah. Look, this one. They know this one. They don't need to go to the qira'at. Prove that this, which is the foundation of Islam, the foundation of all the qira'at and all the ahruf, because Allah, who sent the Quran, taught Rasulullah to read the Quran in different ways, and he taught his companions to read it in different ways. So Ubay ibn Ka'b had a doubt about this, about this, how it's written. No, read the hadith and you'll find out how a hypocrite would throw doubts. But that wasn't the topic. That this copy was becoming doubtful to Ubay ibn Ka'b. It was a different way of reading it. So that's not the topic. Here is the topic. This is the copy all Muslims have had from the beginning. Go back to the earliest copies. You'll find this one. The challenge to you and Yasir Qadhi and all other people. Find one ayah. Just one. See this here. Just to make sure that one. There's just one ayah that according to the earliest copies of the Quran, there is an ayah missing, an ayah was added, or an ayah was changed. Even one letter. You see? Go to the museums in Britain, UK, you'll find many copies of the Quran that they stole from different areas. Compare. You see, establish first the status of this copy. Then we talk about the qira'at, because this is the foundation, this is it, this is what Muslims have. Most Muslims, like I said, don't know much about those qira'at. They hear about them, but they don't know what it is. They don't need to. They need to know this one. One ayah. Bring one ayah. Just one ayah. Don't come and say, the Quran, Muslims, Muslims who are becoming Muslims and Muslims who are still Muslims need to learn about this, the Quran. Where is the example? From this copy. You're listening to Yasir Qadhi. Don't let him ruin your akhirah. Because have you noticed, and I've been responding to Yasir Qadhi more than 12 years now. More than 12 years. Various things. This man is throwing doubts about Islam everywhere. And Muslims still accept him, and he goes there and they don't care what he says about the Quran, because half of them don't know much about Islam. The other half maybe are not aware of these issues, and there are a part of them who know. However, who knows what this guy is saying about it, but they don't care. So he's throwing things all over. Have you noticed something? Rest a little bit here. Look back and say to yourself, yeah, to prove corruption in this Mus'haf, I need to bring one ayah. Otherwise, you'll be a liar, just like Yasir Qadhi. No examples. Now the Quran was changed. Okay, where is the example? One example, just one ayah. If you listen to Yasir Qadhi, you hear a salad of words. Qira'at, ahruf, tashkeel, narrative, Allah's kalam. Let's think about the idea if it's Allah's kalam. It is Allah's kalam. We have to believe in it. I can't say this in public. We can talk in private after, he says to the person who interviewed him. So this is the challenge to you. Before you screw your akhirah, can you just, first of all, prove this Quran is not exactly like the Quran, the copies of the Quran, the masahif that Muslims have had from the beginning. Just one ayah. Then maybe we can talk about the other drama you have, I don't like this about Islam, this and that and this and that. You want to leave Islam, don't you owe it to yourself, to your akhirah, to think about this? Why doesn't Yasir Qadhi bring evidence to what he says? You said things, Mr. Samir, about the Sunnah. I have tons of books about the Sunnah. So, yeah, the Sunnah is, like somebody was telling me, Sunnah is garbage. Sunnah, the Prophet got it from China. Next step, okay? This one here, proof the Quran was changed. Now, you like it, you don't like it, I don't care. But you're throwing things to people. Where is the example? And like I said, have you noticed that Yasir Qadhi never brings examples? Not one, none, zero. If you believe in this, bring an example. And Here is what I want to end with. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. I call on the brother who interviewed Yasir Qadhi to bring back that deleted part. Put it out. I need it. I'm looking for it. I've been looking for things like this for decades. Can't find the one. Can't find the one. The people who actually had some knowledge in Islam, the Orientalists, and the fake people today, and Muslims and all that. Where is it? Bring examples. So I want this video out. Don't hide it. I'm telling you, don't hide it. I need to know the references so I can go and look up the references. Example, you see, here is Surah Taha, which is chapter 20 in the Quran. Say number 3 here. Where? Oh, okay, I got it. That Yakhsha is not in the oldest copies, and this is ayah number 3. But you don't have it. I've been waiting for decades. Christians and Jews tried for decades and decades and hundreds of years, 1500 years now, to find any mistakes in this book. We couldn't find it. You think Yasir Qadhi found it? He doesn't even know the difference between Tashkeel and Naqt and not having Tashkeel and Naqt. So, and no examples. So I want that out. I want it out. Don't hide it. I don't hide anything. In my books, I mentioned so many doubts about the Quran and Sunnah, and by the will of Allah, responded to every one of them efficiently. You see, I want it out because I believe in this Quran, believe in every letter of it, that every letter of it came from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every letter, I believe in it. You need to come and tell me, no, how can you do that? So bring it out with examples, because any fool can sit and say, Sunnah is full of garbage, Quran is this, Quran is that. Examples, I just throw doubts. I don't have examples. Where is the example? And bring it out. We're not afraid. I believe in this book. Don't ruin your akhirah for what you know is nothing. It's nothing. There is no example. Nothing. Just so this is the challenge, because this is the book that Muslims have today. They don't have the qira'at at home. So many of them, most of them, the vast majority of them don't know what the qira'at are about. Maybe they go to Morocco to hear a different way of reciting than the East, but that's about it. But they don't know those qira'at. They know this book. Make this book doubtful in their hearts, then the qira'at will follow suit, because that is a consequence of this Quran. Okay? This mushaf. It's a consequence. This is the original. Bring it out. But he said, he says a lot of things. Let me finish by mentioning the story. I hope I can finish, within 40 minutes, 38, 41, counting. Years ago, when I was in Egypt, before they put me in jail, I have no idea until today why they did that. I was watching the news on TV, and they mentioned about the anniversary of the death of Taha Hussein. Not this Taha. Taha Hussein, who many consider to be the foremost linguist in the Arabic language in our time. He could be. He died. So every few years, people who had contacts with Taha Hussein, who studied his books, whatever some of them Orientalists, would come and meet in Cairo and talk about him. So I was, doing something. People were saying things, and then we have this guy. He's going to say something, and then somebody came, and he was speaking such a nice language, Arabic, really good, high level. Then I happened to look at the screen. This guy doesn't look Arab. He's European. He's European. He's not a Muslim. He spoke Arabic so very well that I challenge Mr. Yasir Qadhi to give a lecture with a fraction of the eloquence of this kafir man in the Arabic. I looked in the internet. I can't find one lesson for him in Arabic. So these are the people who tried, couldn't find anything in the Quran. And some of the Orientalists memorized the whole Quran, memorized a lot of the hadith, and when they wrote books, it took time and effort to respond to. The shallow people we have today, it's not so. It's not like that. It's just a joke. So, Mr. Samir, why ruin your akhirah before you make sure that this book was changed? If you bring in the salad, qira'at, tashkeel, other stuff, and the sunnah and zombies, you will get what Yasir Qadhi wants, to distract you. See? To distract you from the topic. This is what the Muslims have. They always have had this copy of the Quran, the Mus'haf, proof changes in it. One example. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us knowledge in the religion. And Samir, your meeting with Allah will come, just like mine and everyone else. Prepare for that. Don't ruin it over nothing. I believe in Allah. I believe in the Quran. I believe in Muhammad. I believe in the Sunnah. And inshallah, we can talk about other topics once you bring me this evidence I'm asking. La ilaha illallah Muhammadun Rasulullah.